Hello guys, Dan here from Dan's Tech, and yeah, today guys I'm going to be bringing you a review. Now, I have kind of took a short break from YouTube, and about a week, just took a little break. I have moved in to accommodation here at the University of Hull. If you guys know, I'm now in my second year, so if you guys didn't know, you know now. But yeah, I'm in my second year at the University of Hull doing computer science. And yeah, that's kind of about it. That's all I really wanted to say. If you guys have kind of stuck around, great, brilliant, yeah, just absolutely brilliant. Anyhow, today I'm going to be having a look at a CPU cooler. This is the Fortis 3 by SilentiumPC. Now, I was reading, a lot of articles on Tom's Hardware, and come across one of the articles saying that SilentiumPC now make high-end CPU coolers. And just the fact, I read that, then I go contact the company to send me a cooler. I review it. You guys now know about the company. It's brilliant. It just proves the power of the internet and how you can really share information. So yeah, today's going to be a review on the Fortis 3, and just looking at the cooler, I think it's going to do pretty well. 140mm fan and also 5 copper heat pipes, so should be pretty good. Anyway, let's kind of delve into the video, and let's start with unboxing the CPU cooler itself. To get started, as for a quick unboxing, inside the box you get the CPU cooler itself in plastic see-through packaging, an accessory box, a 140mm fan in another box, and finally a user manual for installation of the cooler onto Intel and AMD platforms. This cooler does support all the latest sockets from both Intel and AMD. It does support the new Skylake chips from Intel, just for you guys that are wondering and probably will ask in the comments section. Inside the fan box you get an all black 140mm fan. Now this is one of SilentiumPC's own Sigma Pro 140mm fans and comes with a fully sleeved black cable, very nice to see. Now the fan speed of this fan is between 500 to 1400 RPM and is controlled via the 4-pin PWM connector, so your PC's BIOS can control the speed of the fan effectively based on current CPU temperatures. And finally, the rated noise levels are between 8 and 22 decibels, so expect your hard drives or case fans to be louder when idling. Now inside the accessory box you get lots of tools and mounting hardware, including a plastic backplate, a small wrench and 4 fan clips to install the fan to the cooler, as well as another set so you can actually install another fan onto the cooler if you want to in the future. Also, do note, on the 140mm fan the holes on here are 120mm, so if you was going to install another fan you would need to get rather a 120mm fan or another one of the Sigma Pro 140mm fans from SilentiumPC. Onto the cooler itself, it is a single tower cooler with 38 aluminium fins and 5 6mm thick copper heat pipes, all rising to the top of the cooler where they then terminate. Now the rated maximum TDP this cooler claims to cool is 220 watts, so quite frankly you can shove any CPU under this cooler. Now the dimensions of this cooler are 125mm in length, 125mm in width and 155mm in height. Now when you do add the fan, I will say the width is increased by 15mm while the height increases by a mere 3mm. And I will say the cooler is extremely well built with no imperfections at all, and you can definitely tell that this product has been put together very, very well. Now the cooler's overall design is a V-shape, and this does serve a very important role in making this cooler easy to install, which you'll see later on. Now the copper base on the cooler is slightly offset, however it's like this so you can have the best compatibility with your RAM. Now we'll see how this holds up a little bit later, as I do actually own a 16GB kit of Corsair Vengeance Pro RAM, and that is very tall indeed. And lastly, I want to mention the last aluminium fin on the top of the cooler is black, so that last kind of slit of aluminium on the top of the cooler is black, so when installed in your case you will see that black slate of metal instead of, say, a silver slate, which I would assume a lot of people will definitely appreciate this attention to detail. Now onto the installation of the cooler, overall it's pretty straightforward, and even people with large hands should really have no problem here. Now the plastic backplate does allow you to screw down the cooler pretty easily, and the large mounting hardware pieces are easy to apply to your motherboard. Overall, a good solid experience, and I'm very pleased to see this. Now, to be honest, many people starting out building PCs don't want to buy a cooler with an overly complex installation process, and this cooler is very simple to install. It really is, and I do praise SilentiumPC for doing this. Anyhow, enough chatter, let's get on to some temperature graphs for this cooler with my i7 4770K at both 3.5 GHz stock and 4 GHz overclocked. And yeah, let's kind of compare this to some of the other CPU coolers I've tested in the past few months. Now, placing some temperature graphs on the screen, I was only able to test my i7 4770K. However, I was very impressed by the very cool temperatures, considering this cooler really does not make much noise at all, including, you know, when it is actually under load, and the fact that it is pretty cheap for what you're actually getting. Now, first up, at 3.5 GHz with an automatic voltage set, I obtained 62 degrees under load, and when at 4 GHz with a standard voltage between 1.075 and 1.080, I obtained a temperature of 67 degrees. Now, comparing this to a Dartrock Pro 3, for example, which is actually twice as expensive, the Fortis 3 does 2 degrees worse at stock speeds, but it's quite interesting that when the i7 4070K is at 4 GHz, it does pull ahead ever so slightly by a single degree. So there we are. There's my tests. You know, as always, there's always the potential for, you know, that slight, you know, kind of variance in you know, say room temperatures, but I do you know, try and normalize these to 18 degrees. So these temperatures you're looking at should be pretty damn accurate. Anyhow, you know, yeah, let's kind of you know, conclude on this cooler from SilentiumPC. So there we are, guys, that was the Fortis 3 CPU cooler. You guys have seen what the product is like to install. It's pretty damn easy. And yeah, that V-shape out of the cooler, you know, you can get your screwdriver right in there, screw it in, and, you know, it is really nice, the installation, and, you know, because it's got, you know, quite large kind of, you know, parts to install it. You know, it's nice and easy, and even if you've got big hands, you can install the product. Now, you guys have seen the temperatures, pretty damn good, and yeah, pretty impressed by this cooler. It is pretty damn quiet, and, you know, without further ado, I would definitely recommend this product. It is pretty damn good, and yeah, the installation's easy. One thing that a lot of, you know, first-time builders of gaming PCs want is, you know, for it, you know, to just go nice and smoothly, and for it to be easy. And CPU coolers these days can be pretty tricky to install, and I think that's probably why a lot of people are going with closed loop, you know, say liquid coolers by Corsair, because all you got to do is kind of screw the pump on and screw the fan on, and sometimes that's easier than you know, installing a high-end air cooler. But what SilentiumPC have done here, that you know delivered a CPU cooler to the table. Very nice performance that you get from it in terms of cooling performance, and it's easier to install. So that is brilliant. And yeah, you know, as I said, if you're looking for a CPU cooler, you know, definitely do consider this being an option. And you know, if you guys have, say lower end coolers, say the Hyper 212 Evo, or maybe a stock cooler, you want to upgrade, this is probably a cooler for you. If you also want, you know, your PC to be silent as well, I shall say quiet, nothing's, you know, silent. Yeah, there we are. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.